All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Morning Scone. Drew's here, about to grab the tripod, no doubt. Hope y'all are doing well. We're brought to you by Boudreaux's Margarita Mix, Bloody Mary Mix. Hope y'all having a good one, y'all. Let's kick it. A lot to get to this morning. I know I say that every morning, but just trying to build some ambition or some excitement for you. Stephen Miller, good morning. David Childers, Sam Dixon, Derek Hudnall. What's up, Derek? Good to see you, man. Trey Dykes, Mindy Perron, Sam Dixon. What's up, dude? Darren, good morning. Darren Pellegrin, Boudreaux's, cheers. Charlie Cavell, good morning. Scott Boch, good morning. Brian King, John Miller, Dax Jeter, good morning, y'all. Me and Dax got into it yesterday morning. Still love you, Dax. None but love for you. So, gonna get into this. Bobby, good morning. If y'all get Matt cussing today, I'll be dead. Woo. All right. So, last night, Coach O met with the media. First time he talked about the quarterback since they announced their transfer. Also, yesterday, after we did this, but in the morning, LSU and Clemson announced a home-and-home series for football. We'll talk about that. And some good news for the Saints. At practice yesterday, Alex Okafor left with an injury, and it looked kind of serious. But they got an update on his status, so we'll get to that as well. So hope y'all are doing all right. Just waiting for that audience to build a little bit before we get cranked up. Yo. Chad Holmes, good morning. Andrew Hebert, good morning. Wayne McManus, good morning. Pops is watching. Hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Hi, everybody. Oh, he blew y'all a kiss. He's blowing kisses to y'all. So Drew loves his the morning Scone nights. By what? Mwah, mwah. All right, dude. Drew is watching old episodes of Wheel of Fortune. Your kids watch cartoons in the morning. My kid watches old episodes of Wheel of Fortune on YouTube. I think he's watching one from 2004 right now. Dead serious. And if he fusses, it's because they got a letter wrong and he heard the buzzer. He doesn't like the buzzer. All right, let's see. Russ is high on Sam Dixon. Talking about Russ Mitchell. Russ is a trip, man, for sure. Oh no, Drew! Somebody must have lost on Wheel of Fortune. Drew's not happy right now. Whew. If we end up moving that home and home, we right. What's up, Drew? All right, let's get cranked up. Okay, so let me just make sure he's all right. Let me make sure he's all right. Yo, dude, what's the matter? Oh, hey, they're starting a new puzzle. He also doesn't like the introductions. He doesn't like whenever they're they after the toss up then they introduce themselves. He doesn't like that. He wants you to go right into solving puzzles and throwing out letters. So if you hear Drew fussing, it's because somebody probably got a letter wrong or something. He doesn't like bankrupt and lose a turn. He wants to see the letters turn. He don't like all the buzzers. Jordan, good morning. Bobby Rogers, good morning. Will Cottrey, what's up? Kent Reeves. All right, let's rock, y'all. Hey, Blake, good morning. Let's see. So Ed Orgeron yesterday talked about the quarterbacks. That was obviously the whole topic yesterday. The entirety of our show yesterday was about Lowell Narcisse announcing his transfer. Well, like half an hour after we wrapped up the show yesterday, Justin McMillan tweeted also that he was transferring. So it's not a great surprise, y'all. I mean, at this point, I don't mind telling y'all that on AFR, in May when Burrow was coming, I for those that listen to the radio show, I kind of went over the top on my prediction that there's no way Burrow and McMillan would be on the roster. And I can tell you, man, it was hairy to get those guys to come back after spring. And so when they added Burrow, it was, especially for McMillan, it was done. I'm quite honestly surprised he made it through the first week plus of camp. But he can go wherever he wants now. My guess on McMillan is Texas San Antonio. A few whispers about him going to UTSA and joining Frank Wilson. And as for Lowell, a lot of you asked about Tulane. I've heard Tulane is a distinct possibility, but he's going to go JUCO first. He's going to go JUCO and play. He needs to play football this year, and then next year pick his spot. But I think he's going to have bigger offers than Tulane, provided he goes JUCO and plays well. And some have also asked, could he come back to LSU? Theoretically, he could. I mean, let's say another quarter. Let's say Burrow goes to the draft. Could he come back? Sure. I think he's going to pick his spot where he can go play, which is a smart thing to do. So, but we'll see. So anyway, so Ed talked about the quarterbacks transferring, and he said he didn't blame him. Wished him well, which is the right thing to do, So the classy thing to do, which, I don't think anybody could blame those guys for leaving at this point. The timing is odd, obviously, to wait until you get into camp, but I think just so many people have focused on this. But it's just like it's the nature of the position now. It's just what guys do. Guys don't stay; they leave. If they're not going to play, they go. I'm not surprised at all that McMillan's leaving as a senior. Go get your shot to play somewhere. The more surprising one for some people is Narcisse because he was going to play. Like Lowell was going to have a role in the offense, but he wants to go where he can play quarterback, and and I don't blame him. I'm reading through some of the comments. Jeff said, "Kill that bottle of Elijah Craig, dead soldier back there." It's close, man. It's almost out. I need to go. I'm gonna go to Calandro's today actually and pick up. I need a new bottle of Elijah Craig. I need to pick up 4 rows of single barrel. I'm out. I polished off. Angel's Envy Rye. I'm a Whistle Pig as well. So a couple empty bottles back there. I'm getting low on some of those. So I got my like elite reserve over there that y'all don't see, and that's sort of like my well back there. That's like special occasion. That's like hey, you want a nightcap? Anyway. So get some of y'all's questions. Some of y'all asked about it. I'll get to that. Ed Orgeron also last night did not name a starter. I was kind of hoping he would. I thought he would just name Joe Burrow the starter now because that's obviously what's going to happen. It was always going to happen. So a little surprised he didn't do that last night. He said also he's never been in a situation like this before where he's had this few quarterbacks on the roster, only 2 scholarship quarterbacks and 4 total quarterbacks. I think it was the Advocate that printed this, published it online. They did a listing. I think it might have been Brooks Cabina at the Advocate, who's doing a good job, by the way. Good on that kid. Here it is. So Ed said his quote was quote, "I'm concerned, about the lack of quarterback depth." So you got 2 scholarship quarterbacks with Burrow and Brennan. Then you got Sale and Jordan Loving. Andre Sale is the transfer from Tennessee Tech. We might have talked about him yesterday. He got a waiver to be eligible this year, so he'd be the number 3. And then Jordan Loving out of Riverside Academy is the number 4. But Orgeron said, quote, "I don't blame them. If they see they're not going to be starting quarterback, they want to leave. We gave them some grades, and there was a pecking order, but there was no decision made, and they decided they wanted to go. I supported them, talked to them, and wished them the best." So Orgeron clearly told them, hey, look, it's Joe and Miles, and so the other 2 guys decided we're going to bounce. So here it is. Yeah, it was Brooks Cabina at the Advocate. Check out these numbers. So LSU's got 4 quarterbacks on the roster this year. Burrow, Brennan, Sale, Loving. The last time they had 4 quarterbacks, 1999 and 1998. Those were DiNardo's last 2 seasons when they went 4-7 and 3-8. The 4 quarterbacks on the roster in 98 were Rohan Davey, Lance Hecker, Herb Tyler, and Craig Nall. Now, Tyler was a senior, and Davey and Nall were both scholars. So you had 3 scholarship players, and then Hecker, I guess, was a walk-on. I don't even remember Lance Hecker. And then 99, you had Davey, Josh Booty came in. You still had Craig Nall. And then Will Stelly was the fourth. But again, you still have 3 scholarship quarterbacks. So it feels very different when your emergency guy is a walk-on. So I understand Ed Orgeron's concern, but I mentioned this yesterday, and I'll continue to say this. You're probably going to hear me say this a lot. If LSU gets to its third quarterback, if almost any school in the country gets to its third quarterback, you're in trouble. So I don't think that these guys leaving is as impactful for this year. I think the bigger instance is wasted reps that could have been going to Burrow and the depth moving forward. Because now you're in a bind next year. Like, what if Joe Burrow decides after this year he wants to bounce to the NFL? Well, now it's Miles and Peter Parrish. Well, now you still only have 2 scholarship quarterbacks. So are you dipping in the transfer market again? Yeah, I don't know. So that's where you have more of a question moving forward. Andrew says, could Narcisse go to Southeastern and play us week 2? Theoretically, yes, he could, but he's not going to. He's going to go. He's going to go JUCO, and he'll play right away. And I don't even know what Southeastern has at quarterback. But to answer your question, yes, he could. He could go and transfer. But then to move up, would he have to sit? Because if he goes JUCO, graduates from JUCO, he'd be eligible immediately wherever he transfers. That's what Lindsey Scott did last year. So my guess is that's what he's going to do. Let's see. I don't know how to spell Narcisse. Well, it's spelled on the yesterday's one. All right, let's see. Dak said they don't make him like Matt Flynn anymore. No doubt. Matt Flynn is the outlier. And that's not just at LSU, that's everywhere. I referenced this yesterday on air. Maybe about a month ago. So Paul Meyerberg at USA Today did an extensive piece on the transfer epidemic, if you want to call it that, whatever, among quarterbacks in college football. If you just go Google Paul Meyerberg, USA Today, transfer quarterbacks, you'll find it. It was fascinating. And his number was 7. This year there are 7 players in college football that are senior quarterbacks that have not played but are still with the team they originally signed with, and 2 of them are at service academies. So to say it's an outlier, absolutely. It just doesn't happen anymore. Orgeron stated the players weren't advised of the quarterback depth chart. Can that be true? He said there was Blake, he said there was a pecking order. So he didn't name a starter, but said there was a pecking order, so clearly they know. What the sense that I got talking to some people yesterday was what bothered Lowell and Justin wasn't that Burrow was at the top. It was that Miles was still ahead of them. That's the sense that I got. So take that for what it's worth. But anyway, David Jenkins asked, could Narcisse go to Maryland? It's not a terrible thought if Matt Canada is still there next year. I don't know if he will be. But Lowell is going to go JUCO this year. And he needs to. Because remember, he didn't play his junior year, didn't play his senior year, redshirted last year. He's missed 3 full seasons of football. He played in the playoffs his junior year, but because he came back and played the playoffs his junior year. But he's basically missed 3 full seasons of football. He needs to go be an every down quarterback somewhere, and junior college is going to give him that opportunity. So go play street ball in junior college, wreck a league somewhere, make yourself a free agent next season, and pick the best spot for you to go. I do want to get to the LSU-Clemson thing, but very quickly, because I know some of you have asked. Alex Okafor, Saints defensive end, this is good news. He has a bone bruise in his knee and a sprained ankle. That sounds terrible, but when he went down yesterday, remember last year he tore his Achilles in the Washington game and missed the rest of the season. When he went down yesterday, they halted practice. Trainers were on the field. It was quiet at practice. When he got up, his teammates applauded, cheered for him clapped for him as he left. He was the starter opposite Cam Jordan last year at 4.5 sacks, and so there was some. He was kind of that guy like they bet on with Nick Fairley 2 years ago. sort of let's give this guy his first chance to be an every down starter instead of just in a rotation and see how we can do. And he did well. Remember, he was close with Kenny Vaccaro from their time at Texas, so there was a relationship there in that defense. And the Achilles injury sucked, but that's a guy that you're hoping that you'll come back and be that starter opposite Cam Jordan ahead of Marcus Davenport to bring him on a little more slowly. So it's really good news. Doesn't say how long he's going to be out, but the ankle sprain is something you obviously don't want to mess around with. So I'd say, man, like shut him down for the rest of camp. Give him 3 weeks and let him get right for that season opener. Do some conditioning stuff, ride a bike, stuff like that. But definitely don't let him get any more injured. And then obviously this is going to ramp up Marcus Davenport's. Go get ready, kid. All right, let's get some of y'all's questions. Fire away with them. I'm going to scroll through here. I have a hard out, by the way, at 8. I'm on in Mobile at 8:05. So they're calling me in about 19 minutes. So let's see if we can rock and roll and get your questions and all that stuff. Let's see. Here we go. Craig Savoy, bone issues are certainly tricky to get a handle on, as we all know. No need to further risk anything. All eyes on 81 tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm excited to watch the Saints tomorrow night. Home game. You're going to see the starters go a little bit longer. We'll talk more about the Saints game tomorrow, like what to watch. But I definitely want to see Jonathan Williams. I'm intrigued by him now. And especially with Devontae Harris going, it feels like they've worked out that pecking order at cornerback. You're starting to get some clarity, and I agree with you. I'll definitely be watching tight end. I mean, tomorrow's gonna be tomorrow's gonna be fun watching the Saints and the Cardinals, and you can hear Zach Strief again. That'll be fun. I'm bummed though that the game isn't on a Thursday, so then Terrio can't do a bit on it on Friday. Okay, let's go. Val, you need to stock up for LSU post-game show that with wine drinking. We will be doing whiskey and wine, Val. Yes, and believe me, I'm stocked. I had 16 bottles over there, and like 22 bottles back there, and then I got more in a bar in there. So like I'm stocked. Like it's a collection you accumulate over time. So I probably got 40 or 50 bottles in here. I'm good. We're good for whiskey and wine, Val. But thank you for your concern. Sam, Narcisse to Maryland, McMillan to ULL. McMillan to ULL isn't a terrible idea, but I think he's going to go to Texas San Antonio. I think he explores that first. Joins Frank Wilson. He's from the state of Texas. Runs that offense. It would make a lot of sense. Let's see. Darren, remember when Les made the chest comment about Gunnar Kiel? Good times. I do. I was there. That was at the River Center. And it stormed that day. And that was the day they ended up getting Jeremy Liggins instead. Remember, they got Jeremy Liggins to commit because they lost out on Kiel. They got Liggins instead. Liggins never showed up. Went junior college and went to Ole Miss and ended up playing offensive line. LSU quarterback has been a comedy of errors, y'all. Sam, I would have loved to see Narcisse play this fall. He wants more than we could offer. That was the interesting thing, man. Like as a guy who's a redshirt freshman, it's just I know you can look around college football and see more freshmen playing now, right? And there are obvious ones in the SEC. Tua last year, Hurts the year before, Fromm last year, Eason 2 years ago, Jake Bentley at South Carolina played as a freshman. Like you can look around the league and see guys that are playing it as freshmen. And you can look around the country and see that. But I still feel like that's an exception. And maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe the numbers don't bear that out. But it feels like you got to be willing to be patient to play. And the fact that Narcisse was going to get on the field and help his team, it's just so odd to me that the times have changed. I'm not like old guy here pining for the way it used to be. But, when I guess it used to be, man, just find a way to get on the field that you can help your team win. And it wasn't that long ago. Like, Jarvis Landry was a 5-star wide receiver who signed in 2011. He broke his foot in fall camp and got behind. But when he came back, he was playing special teams. He was blowing kids up on special teams. Like, I mean, I went and pulled a video from when he was a freshman. He blew up Ontario McCaleb for Auburn on a kickoff return. It's like, that was a 5-star receiver just running down the field playing with his hair on fire. It's one of the reasons I love Jews too, by the way. But anyway. Brad said, I guess Burrow being a legitimate running threat in this offense is gone now. I don't think so, man. I understand your point, but I think you still have to have that dimension in your offense. He's just got to be smart. Like, he's just got to know, hey, look, don't take a shot. You know, like, lots of quarterbacks run, and instead of fighting for an extra yard, get out of bounds or slide. I mean, it's that easy. I mean, you can take at least to some degree, you can control the hits you take in the open field because you can get down. What I'd be more concerned about is the blind hit. You know, like edge rusher coming and just puts his helmet in the middle of his back. I mean, that's the hold your breath moment, really. You know what happened to Aaron Rodgers last year? You know, trying to avoid pressure, you're throwing on your back foot, and guy comes down on you and you break your collarbone. Like that's the crappy thing that's kind of unavoidable. But as far as a running threat, I'm still running. Steven, shout out from Lafayette and Go Tigers. Y'all give me a sort of a roll call where y'all are watching from. I'd love to know that. If you're watching from outside of Baton Rouge, just let me know from where. Darren said, not like Felipe Franks would have worked out for us. Dude was all hype. We'll see, man. I mean, Felipe, he's still 6'5" with a big arm, man. It's just that's a great example of having to play a kid too young and what can happen. You know, who's to say that he keeps getting better and better and he doesn't become a really good player? You know, I'd look at some of those Arkansas quarterbacks. Man, remember Brandon Allen? Dude, Brandon Allen, when he played as a sophomore, was poo. Like, go look. You know, I'll look it up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for you here. Brandon Allen, Arkansas stats. Because Brandon Allen played as a sophomore on that team that was the team after Petrino. They won like 3 games, and they were poo. Brandon Allen, he played 5 games as a freshman. As a sophomore in 2013, Brandon Allen completed 49% of his passes for 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 13 to 10. So he was poo, and they were terrible that year. In 2014, as a junior, he went from 49% to 56%. He went from 1,500 yards to almost 2,300 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Got better. And then his senior year, he went so his completion percentage went 49, 56, 65. His passing yardage went 15, 23, 34. And his touchdowns went 13, 20, 30. His interceptions went 10, 5, 8. So his senior year, he threw 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. My point is, like, guys get better. Like, you can improve. You know, it's not against the rules to improve. And Brandon Allen, I thought, was a great example of that. A guy who stayed, became a really good quarterback. Anyway. Shouldn't have asked where y'all are watching from. Let's see. Sorry, I'm scrolling back to get to your comments now. Let's see. Oh gosh, sorry. I'm trying to get to those comments. All right. If one is playing quarterback, string needs to be passing the ball. I'm missing some of y'all's comments. Some scrolled off. Sorry. Kid has played 1.5 years in the last. Oh, you're talking about Narcisse. A question about some things you said. This is from Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay, good morning. You said it was a waste to use a scholarship on a 1-year kicker, but what would have been your solution to our kicking woes? Also about saving scholarships for high-ranking recruits, then losing out on a QB. What would you do? Okay, so I didn't say it was a waste to use. I just said that kid better be great. It's odd to have 2 kickers on scholarship, which LSU does, and 2 punters. So, no, Von Rosenberg walked on. So, they've got 4 scholarships tied in a specialist: a snapper, a punter, and 2 place kickers. That's a lot. Most might have a kicker and a punter. And my point is, it's just the allocation of scholarships. I'm not saying that Cole Tracy isn't going to be good. I'm just saying he has to be, because that's an odd allocation of a scholarship. Could you have gotten that kid to walk on? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And if not, is your solution maybe coach up the kids that you have on campus? I mean, you got a new special teams coordinator, Greg McMahon. Could he not get those kids ready to go? I don't know. But if you ask me, would I rather have a quarterback for 4 years or a kicker for 1? That's an easy answer. If you ask me, would I rather have a 4-star cornerback for 4 years when you're thin at that position or a kicker for 1? I think that's an easy answer as well. So I hope that clears it up a little bit. Stephen, third-string quarterback, now has 7 games started under his belt. Sailboat. He's experienced. All right. Hey, Mandy Vera K-Bear. Good morning. Cole, definitely like LSU is looking to do more of the home and home series. Love that they're bringing home and home to Baton Rouge. To their credit, like, they're listening to fans. Like Joe Oliva said that on Sports Today yesterday. They've heard it from their fans, and I think it's that, and it's attendance issues. If fewer people are going to games and you need to find a way to increase actual attendance, bring in better games, and I think that's part of what they're doing. And it's going to be at a net financial loss because they will lose money on the return trip. Like, they'll get a guaranteed payout to go to Clemson, to go to Texas, to go to Arizona State, and it's going to be less than $1 million. You go play a neutral site game, you're going to take in between $3 and $5 million. So it's a net loss. I mean, you're taking a net, like, on doing those games. So, but the hope is, get more people in the stands. Do what's best for your fans. Val, bourbon tasting at Matt's house. Invitation only, Val. Don't nobody come showing up at my door. Bob said, what Mobile station? WNSP, 105.5 WNSP, Mark Hyman, Lee Cervani, and I'll be on with those guys this morning in 8 minutes. So let's blow and go here. The school doesn't have to let them transfer. Incorrect, Kirk. They changed that rule this year, and kids could always transfer, but they would need to be granted a release to be able to go, where they could be released to transfer to. In the past, schools could block where they would transfer, but they changed that rule this offseason. Now kids can transfer wherever they want, even within conference. Any word on McMillan and Narcisse? Hey, John, no problem. No word officially yet. What I've been told is that McMillan's snooping around at Texas San Antonio with Frank, and Narcisse is going to go JUCO, and then after his year in JUCO, he'll pick his spot. See who comes calling. Dax is in Nashville. Josh Long's in Monroe. Brad Genres in Houston. Craig Schilling's in Atlanta. Look at that, y'all. Ryan Broussard's watching from the toilet. Rick Green in Monroe. Hey, Rick, what's up, man? Charlie's in Bossier. Dude, we got to get on in North Louisiana. I got to get AFR on in North Louisiana, man. Got to get my show on in Shreveport and Monroe up there. Kenneth Houston's in the house. What's up, Doc? Trivia's in Pensacola. Look out, dude. Blake in Mandeville. That's awesome, y'all. So look, y'all, do me a favor. All y'all that are out of town, I mean, that's really great for me to know, actually, that so many people are watching outside of Baton Rouge. You can find Boudreaux's at stores in BR, but check them out at boudreauxmix.com and order it there. So y'all hit up their website, boudreauxmix.com. Let's see, get some more of your questions. Prairieville, Omaha. Look at Kirk. Moved to Omaha. Asheville, North Carolina, Belle Chase, Prairieville, Sherwood Boulevard. Yeah, Doc. Central, Houston, Hunter Picard. Good morning. Look at that. Springfield, West Monroe. Joey Painich in West Monroe. That's a curse word in my house, bro. West Monroe. James McCormick, good morning. Another West Monroe. Thibodeau in the house. Scott Bork's down in Thibodeau. Mo Hubble in Prairieville. That's awesome. All right, James Woodback has separated himself. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's going to be the guy. They feel, and hell, I don't mind telling y'all this. I wouldn't say this on air, but I'll tell y'all. Hester told me at the scrimmage he was chatting with Kevin Falk, and Falk was like gushing about Clyde, like he's coming along, which is really, really, really encouraging. Now Clyde missed a couple of days with injury, but excuse me, but should be back, and that's encouraging. No worries. No one worries about the kicker till you have one that can't make a 40-yarder. Dog, they were missing PATs last year, man. They missed a chip shot in the bowl game. Julio Malera. Yeah. My dog's watching. Craig, I think with LSU's kicking issue, they had to give one to him. That's 7 points a game. I don't know what that means. How much of our kicking woes last year? We're not having a dedicated special teams coach. It might have been some of that same. I mean, that was, look, and remember, it wasn't, hang on one second, Drew's food's beeping. Oh, we got like 3 minutes left. Ooh. Hang on. Drew was in the guest bedroom with the door closed by himself with the light off, just standing at the door. he's starting to like go in rooms and just close the door, but he can't open it. He can't turn a knob to open it yet, but he can close. So he's closing doors, just like locking himself in rooms. Anyway, I heard the beep. I was like following the beep through the house. No one on this planet can tell me our offensive third down conversion ratios would be what they are with Landry on this squad. We certainly blew that draft and the choice right now. Oh, you're talking about with the Saints. Craig, the one thing I'll say about this, remember, they took Brandon Cooks in round 1. So they weren't going to take a receiver in round 2. Like, I understand your point. And in hindsight, clearly, like, you could have taken Jarvis in round 1. I would have loved for them to take Jarvis in round 1. But and they traded up to get Cooks. So clearly they identified Cooks as their guy. And if you moved up to get Brandon Cooks in round 1, you weren't taking a receiver in round 2. That's when they took Stanley Jean-Baptiste, and they missed. I mean, it was a terrible pick. But they were not going to take another receiver in round 2. It would have been dumb. So could they have gone another position in round 1 and then hope to snag Juice in round 2? Sure, but that's just the reality. So, Matt, do you think this may be one of LSU's best front sevens? No. I don't. I think Devin White's a stud. I think Rashard Lawrence could be really good. But, understand go back to 2011. Mingo and Montgomery were both All-Americans. Kevin Minter became an All-American. Michael Brockers was a first-round draft pick. Benny Logan's still in the NFL. Think about that front seven. You know, man, they were awesome. 03, God, 07, Dorsey and Ollie Highsmith were both All-Americans on that team. I mean, Tyson Jackson became the number 3 overall pick. I mean, they've had some good ones, man. I mean, some really, really good ones. Rick says net loss now, but make more. I don't know how you make more later, Rick, on those home runs. I don't know how you make more later. I mean, it's. Look who's here. Crazy's here. Hi. Is right. Now everybody's gonna get dizzy because what you're doing. I know, right? Look what you did, bud. Hey, we're about to wrap this thing up. Mom. You're just in time. Daddy's got to do an interview. Mom. We're about to tell everybody bye. Ma. That is Drew. I should have left him. I should have left Drew locked. I should have left Drew locked in the other room. All right, Drew. We should have left you locked in the other room. No, don't do it again. Okay. All right. About that. He's on fire. About that to say goodbye, y'all. They're about to call me for this interview. So, man, there's a bunch we didn't get to yet. So my apologies. Sorry, y'all. y'all got a little comedic relief from Drew right there at the end. Anyway, all right. Boudreaux, y'all. The Bloody Mary mix, the Margarita mix. Joe, what's going on AFR today? Mike Detillier, SEC fall preview looking at Mississippi State. We'll have a practice report from Collada. So lots of good stuff today on AFR. Hopefully y'all tune in. And hopefully y'all go pick up some Boudreaux if you're in Baton Rouge, Calandros, Calvins, Alexanders, Mid-City Wine and Craft Brew, Mid-City Wine. The place in Mid-City, I always mess up the name of it. By Manjuni's, I'm sorry. Or for all you out-of-towners, boudreauxmix.com, 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 boudreauxmix.com. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day. I got to go do this interview. WNSP in Mobile, if you want to listen to it, get the link on Twitter or go to WNSP's website and hit the listen